Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of High Energy Girl. And today's guest is Missy Labate, who is a certified functional medicine health coach, a certified health education specialist, a trained skincare specialist, and a vocalist. And we talk about all kinds of things from self-care to meal prep to positive self-talk. And I can't wait for you to hear from Missy. Let's go say hi. Welcome to High Energy Girl, a podcast helping women to age stronger because it is never too late to get fit, be strong, and feel sexy. I'm your host, Tracy Gluheich, health coach and personal trainer and founder of highenergygirl.com. Each week, we will either have a guest interview, which will provide you an actionable tip to help you age stronger, or I will do a solo episode that we will have a fun challenge for the month. Please also join our Facebook group, High Energy Girls. Looking forward to seeing you on the inside. Hope you enjoy the show. Give a woman a fish, feed her for a day. Teach a woman to fish, feed her for a lifetime. Teach a woman to fish, end world hunger. Have you ever wanted to help people improve their health journey? Have you thought about coaching people with a keto lifestyle? Would you like to become an integrative health coach? Well, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, or IIN as we call it, is the largest nutrition school in the country. And in 2011, I graduated from their program and became a health coach. It was completely awesome. We learned over 100 different dietary theories and talk about craziness and confusion. My wish for you is that we can lock arms and create a tribe of health coaches all around the country, all around the world to spread the keto message. If this resonates with you and you would like to look into this option deeper, please go to my blog at highenergygirl.com and click on the link to the right of the homepage. Here you can grab the curriculum guide and see if it inspires you. Since I care so much about my listeners, I negotiated the very best tuition rate for you at IIN. Either you can contact them directly and give them my name, or I will introduce you to a counselor so you can decide if this is a good fit for you and your career goals. Let me know how I can support you in this coaching career opportunity. Hey, Missy, thanks for coming on the show today.
I'm so excited to be here, Tracy. Thank you.
Well, I'm excited to have you because I know that you have quite an experience and wisdom to share with our listeners. So for those that don't know you, why don't you let them know a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Missy Labate. I am originally from upstate New York. I've been living in Albuquerque, New Mexico for about 12 years now. I work at a hospital and do employee communications, but my background is health education, and I recently was certified as a functional medicine health coach, so definitely wanted to expand my roots, and I did that. I went back for that program last year and was certified earlier this year, so I'm really excited about that, and now trying to shift more into doing that for a career. Let's see, I am a singer and I love to cook, and I just love to inspire people. I love to help build people up, and that's really why I'm so excited to be here today.
That's interesting. So a functional medicine health coach, is that what
Correct.
You said? So what
Correct.
Does that mean exactly?
So functional medicine looks at the whole person. So when you have an issue, a health issue, say I can use a migraine for instance, it looks at the whole person, and that really intrigued me. So the program, I was with the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy, was started by the functional medicine, Dr. Hyman, actually, Mark Hyman worked with Sandy Scheinbaum and started this program because they wanted to train coaches so that the physicians could prescribe to their patients and that the coaches could help their patients meet goals. So it was really intriguing to me that I could be part of a comprehensive team to help patients. So functional medicine looks at the whole person. Mm-hmm. So say you have chronic migraines or in my case, acne. This is what's kind of pushed me to do what I've done is even at my age, at 45, I still suffer every now and then from some acne. And it looks at the whole person, even from when you were in the womb. So it's really intriguing to me. So it will we'll do a timeline, and the practitioners will look at a timeline and look at everything in that, what happened in that person's life, and then take it from there. The 4 main principles that they look at are stress, sleep, self-care, and diet. So really important to, address those 4 things, and then kind of look at the problem from there. So that was really, and so empowering too, because all of those things we have control over, which is really cool. So I just really love the concept and the foundation of that. So.
Yeah, I love Dr. Mark Hyman. I just listened to his most recent podcast where he was down at Sonavive. Did you hear that?
I just saw that, and I just saw that on Facebook. So I need to listen to that. I just saw that.
Yeah, it's cool.
So cool.
He's very congruent with all of my beliefs, and he was at Sonavive, which I've heard of before. My dad and stepmom actually went there before, and what I loved that he had to say was that many diseases start with an emotional event.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool.
And it was just, I'm dying to go to Sonavive. So hearing him be there and hearing that he sends his sickest of sick patients down there was cool.
Yes. Dr. Hyman is just awesome. I just love, and I did just see that, Tracy. So I am so glad that you said that, because I just saw it. I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. So that's on my list for today to do.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a really good one. Cause I'm up and down the highway every day, all day. Like it feels like, so I listen to a lot of different podcasts. So
yes. I do that too. I have a pretty, 40-minute commute to and from work every day. So I am always listening to podcasts. Love them.
I know. It's like, it makes your commute like you don't care that you're driving, because you're able to actually learn and,
Right. And I always said that because the commute for a while was so frustrating for me. And I thought, okay, how can I flip this? What can I do? And so I started looking at that time as my classroom. And I started, downloading all these podcasts, and I really do. Or I said I'm a singer, or I'll practice my singing. It depends. But yeah, it really became very, and once I did that shift, I'm like, oh, okay, this is not as bad. And now I'm using this time, because it always felt like a waste of time. I have things to do, and, but now it really turned into that time of, okay, this is my learning time, which, as you know, when, you work full time and you have a house and have a dog, it's like, I have no time for anything. So I kind of shifted my mindset with that and use that time now. And I call it, it turned into my classroom. So it's really cool. So,
oh yeah, that's what I like to do. So what would your advice be based on all of your experiences? I know that you have a diverse background. What would your, and then we'll break it down. Okay. But what would your top level advice be for for a woman who's wanting to age stronger and age in health?
Self-care. That would be my for health and for somebody, because I just turned 45 last Monday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It was a great week. Definitely self-care. Women, we don't tend to schedule that in. And I know some people actually get mad when you say that, because they'll be like, I don't have time. And I get it. I do. And when I say self-care, I think that all encompasses the 4 things I had just said, like the diet and the stress. And, I know I said self-care, but that all encompasses that. And I think that's definitely something women, we don't tend to do. We don't schedule it in, whether it be a massage, whether it be a bath, a salt bath, whether it be just to sit 10 minutes in the morning and meditate. Or just to say, I'm feeling these feelings and that's okay. And I'm going to feel it, honor it. And I'm going to just give myself the time it needs to so I can let it go, rather than pushing it down deep or just saying, oh, this is wrong. I'm supposed to feel good all the time. You know what I mean? I think we don't do that. So, and I think as we age, it gets harder because our lives get busier. And I really think, and I've seen a lot of women, my mom especially, she doesn't do it and she never did. And I think sometimes we feel guilty. And I think that self-care, whatever that is, and definitely eating healthy is part of that. Diet, especially as we get older. And I say lots of water as self-care too. So I kind of encompass that self-care as all that. If I could, I would say, that all is, it's all part of it. So that would be for women and what I've seen some clients and things, say to me, I would say self-care and keeping that vision for your life. All that to me is part of self-care. It's all part of, keeping a healthy mindset and, taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, eating healthy, drinking enough water. I kind of call that self-care.
Okay, so let's break that down though, because
Sure,
you said a couple things about you being super busy, right? So for the women who are listening that are saying, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, I don't have time for self-care. What types of practical application tips would you advise?
I think people think self-care has to take hours. Like a meditation has to be like an hour long every day. And I was not a good I never meditated. And now I'm starting to, because I learned it doesn't have to be 45 minutes every morning. It can be 5. It can be, before you get out of bed, you can just take that 5 minutes to either throw on YouTube, has a ton of like 5-minute, 8-minute meditations, or just envision your day. That's self-care to me. Just so you don't hop out of bed and just hit the ground running, take that few minutes, breathe as you get up, and just kind of say, this is how I want my day to go. I always do salt baths. That's one of my things. 20 minutes, you can do a salt bath. You don't have, people go, oh, I have to get it ready. And it doesn't have to take hours. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be my first advice. And you just kind of have to find what works for you. Sometimes people can take a bath after children go to bed and they have an hour. Great. But sometimes you just have a 20-minute window. Take it. Mm-hmm. Take it. It doesn't mean, oh, I only have 20 minutes. I can't do this. Absolutely, you can. You can make it work for you. And that's what's, most important is my first piece of advice there.
So what kind of salt bath? You mean like Epsom salt?
Epsom salts, baking soda, and lavender oil. That's my go-to. Love them. Love them. A couple times a week, balances hormones, just kind of de-stresses the body, helps like any muscle aches, just helps you sleep better. I do recommend it before bed because it does promote sleep with the Epsom salts, and love it. And I swear by them. And I don't even have one of those great big tubs, that people think I can't take a bath because I don't have those garden tub. I don't even have that. I got the old fashioned one that, you have to keep filling up, and I still do it. And I look forward to that a couple times a week. Definitely it just kind of is that 20 minutes, and I really don't stay in much longer than that. It just keeps me grounded. I can just have that 20 minutes. I'll throw on a meditation. You can actually, multitask there if you like to meditate in the tub. So
yeah,
you can do that too. And you're, hey, I just did 2 things for self-care in 20 minutes. Awesome. Sometimes I will do that. Sometimes I'll even journal in there.
Oh, wow.
So I'm actually taking that 20 minutes and I'm saying, this is my 20-minute chunk. And if I can be in there longer, absolutely I am. And I'm just going to do a journal, or I'm going to read a passage, or I'm going to just sit here. It just depends on my mood, what I want to do that day, or what I feel my body is telling me I need. I'll take that 20 minutes in that bath, and I'll do that. So that's my little ritual. And that's really changed it's been life changing. I have to laugh. My mother's like, a bath? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really good.
So. It's funny because I have 3 boys, and I've been a bath person for a long time. And all 3 of my boys, when they come home, they love to take baths.
It wears off on other people. They love it. Have you ever seen the Friends episode with Chandler in the bath?
No, but I'm going to have to watch it now.
That's all I think. And he was making fun of her, and then she got the bath ready for her, and he got in, and it's one of the best episodes, and he doesn't ever want to get out. So it's definitely, it's definitely, I do always say, if you can do it, because I just really find that. And some people aren't bath people. Do what works for you. I love it because that also gives me another 20 minutes to either meditate or journal, like I said. So really cool.
I never thought about journaling. That's a good idea. I like to read in the bathtub.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to get one of those little trays. I don't even have that. Like, I don't even have like the bath that you see in like House Beautiful magazine that's all set up for that. I don't even have that. I don't even have the tray. I just go in there and work with what I have. So
let's talk about, I want to hear about so just practical application. How much Epsom salt, how much baking soda, what does the baking soda do? Because I know about Epsom salt, but why don't you explain both?
Yeah, the Epsom salt definitely has magnesium, helps relax. I probably put maybe a good size, maybe 2 handfuls. I really don't measure. About 2 handfuls of salt. I put a little, the scoop, like a coffee scoop, like that size of baking soda. And then I just put about 15 to 20 drops of lavender oil. And I do just recommend using make sure you use a pure oil. When you do use essential oils, that's one of my biggest recommendations. And it just kind of works all together. And I know it helps balance hormones. It just helps relax the muscles. I think, the Epsom salts always will help. There was the magnesium, helps with sleep. Just kind of, to me, it's very grounding. It just kind of keeps me, lets me breathe after a long day. And I always tend to do it right before bed, like maybe about an hour or so before I'm going to, ready to go to sleep.
Yeah, that's what I find people tend to do is they take too long. They try to stay up too long. And in the winter, well, right now we're in winter and we need to sleep more. So
yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely the season we're in.
It's like shut it down early and, don't try to fit in one more thing and just go and do some sort of a self-care practice before bed.
I agree. And even if you can't do it every day, and people tend to, some of my clients, they get angry at themselves. I'm like, oh, no, hold the phone. You don't need, don't beat yourself up because you didn't get it in on Tuesday. You know what I mean? That's okay. Because I don't do it every day either. Just kind of say to yourself, I'm going to do this twice this week. And, and then maybe build up, kind of give yourself grace, definitely, especially if you're not used to doing that. It takes time to get into that habit, just like anything else. It's a habit we create. Right. It's a mindset we create. So I think that's, they would get all upset. I didn't get to this. And I'm like, oh, no. We're not here to do that. We're here to just say, okay, what can we do this week to maybe get to that goal? What can we change? What can we shift? Do you need to write things down? Do you need to schedule it? Some people, on their phones or in a planner, they need to put that in it. 8:00, I'm taking the 20-minute bath. I am definitely Miss Planner. I have a ton of journals, a ton of planners. I use my phone. I use everything. And then our alarm goes, I got to take the bath. Okay, good.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Put that reminder in, that little alarm that goes off. I'm not going to advocate looking at your phone in the tub because that's the downtime. Get off of that blue light, But, definitely, whatever works. Some people aren't phone people. They'd rather just, have sometimes I just use pen and paper. Make a list for the night. I'm going to do 3 things. Put it on, and I love to cross off. Like pencil and paper, old fashioned. Love it. Very, very, very rewarding for me when I can cross off my list. And that just keeps me, I've been like that since I was a kid with homework. Wrote down my subjects, wrote down the homework, crossed it off. And I'm 45 now and I'm doing that with housework. Or even at my job, I do that. I have legal pads and I just write. Everybody laughs at me. They're like, what is that? I said, well, this is my to-do list, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And they're like, hello, 1975. I'm like, but this is what we're doing. So yeah. And I swear by pen and paper for me, but whatever works for you. A lot of people love the notes on their, section on their phones or, and I don't even probably use my phone to its capacity, but, so yeah, sorry. Sorry, I got a little here.
That's okay. I have 2.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on, Tracy. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
She's out. I'm so sorry. She heard a car outside. So anyway, that's kind of what I say. It's a choice, it's a choice. Sometimes I just don't have time. We can all say that. And legitimately, we can all say that. But it's really just a choice to say, I'm going to do this for 20 minutes. And whether you have to speak to your family or you have to, maybe people stay at work, late sometimes, and maybe you have to leave a half hour early, or you have to set a boundary there. Mm-hmm. So I think it's all about boundaries and, making the time. And again, it's just shifting because we're so into this mindset where we have to go. And I'm one of them, but it was just this matter of shifting that and bringing all this in. And I've definitely seen some real, and just, I will say, maybe the past year, I've really started to see the effects. So it hasn't come easy for me at all. I will be totally honest. It has been a process.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it takes practice.
It does. Just like if you were learning to, I don't know, ice skate or, cook or anything. If it was something you were just starting, it kind of look at it that way. Paint or draw or, whatever,
yeah.
You have to develop a talent even, and once you get it ingrained, you don't even think about it. It just
Yeah.
starts to, oh, this is what I do.
It becomes a new ritual.
Absolutely. People always say to me, how do you eat so healthy? I said, well, I take a couple hours on Sunday to meal prep. That's important to me. I just do it. And whether I do it since Saturday, if I have to do some on Saturday night, depending on what's going on Sunday, I really carve out that few hours during the weekend to make sure I have food for a good part of the week.
Okay. So let's talk about that. What kind of meal prep stuff do you do? Like, tell me about like this week's plan.
Okay, so this week's a little off. My mom is visiting. That's why the dog was barking, because she's not used to having somebody in the house. So what I usually do, I roast vegetables a lot as my base. So I'll have asparagus and carrots, and I'll just, especially now the root vegetables this time of year, I'll just go and I'll just do that as a base. I try to get some protein in there, so I'll either use the crock pot a lot, especially this time of year. I'll throw chicken thighs or chicken breasts in there and just let them cook. I will do things like quinoa and just make a big batch of that. So kind of like batch cooking. I'll do that, and I do try to limit my dairy, my wheat, and all that, just for my own reasons, health wise. And that so keeps me on track. I feel better when I do that. You're going to laugh. I make a batch of scrambled eggs, and I just use them in the morning with sweet potatoes. That's kind of one of my main staples for the morning. So I'll roast sweet potatoes as well, or I'll make them mashed, or I'll make sweet potato fries and things like that, just to change it up a little bit. But it's kind of my basis is sometimes I'll make soup. Especially this time of year, I'll do a soup or stew. And I just make enough, and I'll freeze some, so I have some for the next week. So because I'll get sick of it after a while. But next week it's good again. So I do stuff like that.
Oh,
and
good.
People go, how do you do it? How do you do it? I said, I made a choice. And sometimes it's hard to come up with ideas. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to cook, but I know if I don't, it almost keeps it's one of my routine to get used, part of my routine to get used to for the week. And if I don't do it, I feel out of sorts. So again, when we talk about a habit, it became a habit. So like when I didn't do it, I have too much to do and I'm not quite ready by Monday, I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel right. So you go back to the habit that makes you feel better. You know what I mean? So that's I make sure either I take some time on Monday night after work or something to make something, so I have things for the week. And it just keeps my eating on track, my nutrition on track. I feel better. I have energy. I do eat small meals throughout the day. I do like every few hours I have something, a lot of like almonds and nut butters. I'll do apple and nut butter just as a snack. I really try not to do like energy bars or things like that. Just for me personally, they don't really work for me. So I'm doing, quite a bit of cooking, because I'm not only cooking for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm trying to get some snacks in there too. So it gets some, I try to look at it as fun, as I use Pinterest a lot for recipes. I like Food Network. I just kind of go on and search, and if I have an ingredient, I'll search an ingredient, and so much comes up now, on Google. There it is. And so I've got a lot of ideas from Pinterest. I do use a lot of Whole30 recipes, because I love Tracy, I know the keto principles. That really works for me. So I do a lot of that, shifted my diet a lot, and I've seen a lot of really good benefits from that. So it's kind of my basis for my diet.
Oh, good. Yeah. I totally am with you on that. It's so important to, okay, so for instance, my mom has Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And she's like, I've been trying to coach her and help her for so long. And she's just, she's like, it's so hard to do that, to eat healthy. I'm like, Mom, isn't it harder to lose your brain?
I so agree. I know. And we're so conditioned, Tracy, not to eat fat. We're so conditioned, from years ago, not like when you eat high fat, oh no, you can't do that, and it's so, all the research now shows, wait a minute, that's what the brain needs, and it's the good fats, don't get me wrong, but we're so conditioned, not to, at least I was, with my family, it's like, oh, you can't have that. It's fattening. And I'm like, wait a minute, so when I got into the program, and even before that, I started doing research, and I said, wait a minute, how we've been eating has really not been working for me, So I am definitely a big proponent of that. My skin is better, my digestion is better, my hair, my everything. I've seen a huge difference. And again, you had asked, some advice on when you get older, as to age gracefully. I am definitely a big proponent of adding the keto principles there for healthy aging. Absolutely.
Yeah, one of my clients said, what do you do after keto? I'm like, why would you do anything? Like, why would you end keto? Like, my big thing is that my dad has had cancer, I think like 5 times. And so it's in my genes, right? And, keto is like my favorite way to mitigate cancer since, all glucose or all carbs break down into glucose. And I just don't want that crap in my body.
I agree. I watch some of the shows, different cooking shows, and the amount of sugar some of them use. And hey, I'm not going to lie. My mother's here. We're Italian. She's baking cookies. We have some of it, but I really, sugar definitely, yeah. That's if I had to give any advice, I'd say watch your sugar. Really, really watch your sugar. If you could give it up, which is hard. We all do it, but at least moderate it, so I agree with you on that. Definitely.
Yeah. And there's ways that you can make things in a healthy way. Like one of my friends in the keto community, she has a keto cake mix that is really good. Or I make fat bombs with like coconut oil and peanut butter and chocolate. I just brought some to my manager at work the other day, and he was like, oh, cool, because somebody thought about him instead of the usual.
Yes, and made from your heart, because it's all good stuff. There's nothing bad in there, and you can be happy what you're eating because it's healthy for you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's another thing is, I'd say to people, start looking around for recipes. Pinterest is really great for that. Some things are really easy to do. Well, I'm not a cook. Well, you don't really have to be a gourmet chef, but start kind of looking at, we would look at ways at how we could get some of my clients to start looking at things like that. And rather than, buying the energy bar, how can you make your own, and sometimes they don't realize how easy it is.
Do you have recipes for that?
I probably do. Yeah, I probably can find some that I've recommended. They're not I don't make them myself, but I can probably find some I recommend. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, just for the listeners, it's like they might as well have an option there.
I can send you, some of the recipes I've used. I'm happy to do that. Yeah. If you need to, post them. Absolutely. I have some go-tos that I found on Pinterest. Some really cool ones that are easy. And they make a lot. So you have some for the week, and I'm happy to forward them on to you.
Oh, cool. That would be awesome. I think our listeners would love it too,
Absolutely.
So, what was I going to ask you? So tell me what other practices that you recommend your clients do. So far you've really focused a lot on the self-care, meal prep. Yeah. What other recommendations do you have?
I am going to steal my very good friend Heather's advice on this one, because this was life-changing to me. And I told her I was going to do this, so she knows. She always said to me, and I have said this to my clients, is choose the better feeling thought. And she always said that to me. And she's a doctor of Oriental medicine, and I just adore her. And she's really, really over the past 5 years helped me get to this point. I have to give her a lot of credit for that. And I never really thought about the power in that, because she'd say it, I'd be like, okay, yeah, Heather, okay. And then it started to sink in. And then I didn't really do it. I just heard her saying, choose the better feeling thought, Missy, choose the better feeling thought. Okay. And then I started doing it. And then I started doing it some more. And then I started doing it some more. And again, like we just mentioned, now it's my habit. So when you're having that bad day and things are not going the way you want it to go, what's the better feeling thought in that? And it's personal to you, So I do that on a regular basis now. And that has another thing that's been almost life-changing for me, because I come from negative. I come from very negative. Oh, it's all bad and everything's bad. And oh, you got to be sad every day. And life is hard. I mean, no offense. And the good people I come from love them. It was just ingrained in them too. That's all. It was just passed down. And so that was another thing that I had to retrain my brain, the tapes that I was, just learned from my mom. My mom learned from her mom learned from her mom, that kind of thing. I had to stop that. And again, that changes your energy, raises your vibration, and then things start to open up. And that would be another thing I love to say is, what's the better feeling thought here? What is another way to look at this? How can I see this differently? Why is this happening for me? I know we've heard that before. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. What is the lesson here? And how can I come from a place of service with this person that drives me crazy every day? How can I be a little more empathetic towards what might be going on in his or her life, so that what they're saying or what they're doing doesn't ruin my day? How can I, go within and keep that, myself grounded in that better feeling thought?
I love that. I wrote that down. That is.
Oh, cool. I got to thank Heather for that. Heather, my very good friend Heather, really, really ingrained that in me. So I'm going to credit her for that. Yeah, absolutely.
And she's Chinese medicine?
She is Oriental medicine doctor. Yes.
Wow. That's
Jones.
Cool.
Wonderful. Yes. And I took that, and like I said, and she'd laugh if she heard me. She probably will. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. I heard that. And then, but she'd say it every time. And until I was really ready to accept that and hear it is when it started sinking in. And I actually had to do it. We're responsible for, we're not, I always say you can't just, you definitely have your vision, but you have to take inspired action towards those visions. So whether it's, I want this relationship with this person to be better, whether it's your boss or your coworker or whatever, your spouse, whatever, it's doing things, taking that step every day to get to that vision. You envision what you want at the end of this or whatever, end of the road, whatever of the, this is how I want this to be. And then you have to take that action. So we are responsible for taking the action too, and changing ourselves for the better. So that's, again, bringing in the self-care, bringing in the meal prep. It's all part of, to me, makes me whole. So, how can making some asparagus on Sunday help you, Missy? Well, it's just been all part of the whole thing that's changed my energy.
Yeah.
That I just love that. And like I say, I'm going to credit Heather for that. And that has been a huge lesson to me. And I do use that principle a lot when I even in casual conversations with friends, if they're not even my clients, I'll kind of say, okay, well, how can we see this a little bit differently? And it's amazing sometimes when you do that, by the end of the conversation, they're like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. I didn't do it for them. They did it for themselves. I just kind of coached them along, even, they're not really my clients, and then they realize and they've come up with a solution all on their own. Yeah. So that's really cool. And I still do that. I'm not perfect by any stretch. There are days that are more challenging than others. But I will say this year has definitely, I felt lots of breakthroughs come through this year. So I'm really excited with 2019 so close here. I'm really excited for what's to come.
That is super cool. Like, you seem to have it going on. And then what is your day job?
I am a internal communications manager for a very large university hospital, about 7,000 employees. I also do some event planning for them, and I kind of, it's one of those jobs where you're like a Jackie of all trades. So I'm like the emergency manager for the building. I'm on the roof. I'm like, okay, well, let's see what I can learn today on this roof. And
so that's fun.
It's a great place, great people. I've learned a lot there. Love it. And so, I'm there still, and I'm very grateful for all my experiences there. It's been very supportive environment. Probably the best job I've had, I will say, in my 20 some odd years of working in the field of, and I kind of got out of health education, couldn't find a job, I will be honest with you. And so that's why I brought back the functional medicine and did that while I'm still working, because I really missed it. So, and then I got into the functional medicine, research and listening to Dr. Hyman and all that. And then I saw this program. I said, oh, this is perfect. So kind of, best of both worlds. And so I do the coaching as well. And then I do work full time for the hospital.
Yeah, you sound like me. I work full time in the dental space, and then I work part time. Well, I have my business that I work a lot on too. So, but that's where my heart is, and that's
Me too. And you know what, Tracy? I bring who I am to that job too. I'm an essential oil lover. I love essential oils, and I have a diffuser in my office, and people will just go by and they're like, oh, Missy, I just love this. I said, well, have a seat, So I do definitely bring some of this into my day job. And I think that's important, is bring who you are, be who you are, bring that in, because that's really fulfilling too. When you can bring some of that and to help somebody, and just for the, just because I'm diffusing lavender oil or whatever it is that day, and it just helps somebody, slow down or become grounded or take a breath. That's really what I'm here to do, So I love how I'm able to bring some of that into my day to day too.
Right. Yeah. That's good, because it's like your light, right? You don't want to put a lid on your light. You want to bring it with you everywhere you go.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's what I wasn't doing that for a while, because I thought, oh, this is not really what I should be doing. But then I shifted. I changed my thought. I said, how can I feel better about this? What can I do? And I started kind of just, shifting the thought, raising the vibration. How can I bring some of this into this day to day? And I've definitely seen a lot change. I actually even get asked we have a employee wellness manager. And I actually work with him to present to our employees on stress management and things. So I was even able to bring some of that into my day to day, because they know my background. So that's been really cool. Yeah, I was able to do some presentations with him. So
what kind of stress management stuff do you recommend?
Oh, stress management. Okay, that's a biggie. So again, a lot of what we just talked about, the salt bath, definitely, because that's very relaxing, helps relax the muscles, helps balance the hormones, enough sleep. And that's tough, because I'm stressed. I can't sleep, but it's, part of the process. The bath helps the sleep, and getting off of the blue light and all that, that's all, again, creating that habit, shutting off the TV, whatever it is. And, taking that, choosing the better feeling thought, again, is definitely one of my stress management strategies. And that's been huge, I will tell you. And I'm like the queen of stress. I come from the stress people. Like, we're Italian from New York, and I love it, but we're always, oh, we got to go. We got to hurry up. We got to go there. We can't sit. Don't sit. So I come from that. We're always busy and running, and just taking a breath. If you have to go outside for a minute because your day is getting out of control, go outside, get your, put your head up to the sky, look at, feel the sun on your face or your feet in the ground, and just get grounded a little bit. Just 5 minutes. Everybody thinks, oh, stress management, I don't have time. It's too long, too hard. I do use a lot of essential oils for stress management. Again, I do recommend just using very pure oils, making sure they're pure if you're going to diffuse them and apply them topically.
So you've said that several times. What brand do you recommend?
I'm definitely a Young Living person. Love the company, love the oils, love their philosophy. They have their own farms. They call it a seed to seal promise, so they know what they're planting, how they're planting it, how it's being, cultivated, and, what's in that bottle and what's in their products. Definitely a huge advocate of Young Living, and I represent them, and I just love them, and I just love the company. So supportive of everything for me, and that's been a huge change in my life too over the past year. So
you know what, one of my friends sells Young Living, and she had a party, and you know what one I love is the one that you put in your laundry.
Oh, the dryer balls, or
no,
was it oil?
It was drops, and you put them in your laundry, and like, because I go to the gym all the time, and so does like my family, and gym clothes tend to get like kind of stinky after a while, and you can't wash it out. But that oil helped like crazy.
Now I know, it's awesome. They have laundry detergent, and they have all skincare products, and I just really like, and I'm really big into toxins and detoxing in my cleaning products. I just switched over to all their cleaning products because I have a dog, as you heard, and I mop the floor, and she's on the floor, and I said, wait a minute, I don't want to use these other things that have all this stuff that I'm literally choking when I'm cleaning my shower because it's taking over me. And so I just switched to all that. I use their laundry detergent, their household cleaner. I use all of their supplements. And I have to tell you, at 45, I feel better than I did at 25. I'm not lying at all. I am having a good time. So, and I was afraid. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be 45. Oh no. But it's really been fun. Like it's been a good time.
Yeah, that's good. I love it.
So yeah, I credit all of this I'm talking about. It's been a process. Mm-hmm. It's been a process, and it's all contributed to. And I'm still on that path. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still getting to my best self.
Yeah.
So really fun though, and now I'm like actually excited about it. Before it's like, oh, I have to do all this work on myself. They're saying, But now I'm like, no, this has been good. This has been good. So it's been fun.
Yeah. And so just a little bit about you, because we're starting to run out of time.
Sure.
What is your favorite healthiest habit, Missy?
I'm going to say my ability to choose, because I thought about that question. My ability to choose. I think to me that in my case, that's been my healthiest habit to change my mindset.
Okay. So
yeah. Odd, but do you want like
another one? Nope. I'm not gonna make any comments, but it just sounds like an empowering.
Definitely habit. The power within, finding that power within that we all have.
Yeah, and it's important because I think so many of us don't choose what's going to serve us because we're always so into serving others, and so
Absolutely.
Thinking that you do have a choice. So that's good.
Knowing the choice is there.
And what is your favorite accomplishment?
I'm going to say my singing. That is my favorite accomplishment. I'm not professionally trained at all. My dad was a singer. My grandma was a singer. And I literally been singing since I was 2 and just developed that talent. And I still continue to develop that today. So I would say that's my favorite accomplishment.
That's awesome. I always wanted to be a singer, but God had another plan for me.
One of the things I never take for granted, and I just feel so blessed every time I have an opportunity to do that. I actually had an opportunity Friday night. I was in Santa Fe for my birthday, and there was a man playing at the bar and in the lounge, and he had me sing. My mom told him I was a singer, and it turns out he was in a 60s band that was very popular, the Christie Minstrels, which I had not heard of, and I was like, this is so cool. So I just always live in the moment when I'm singing. I just very present. So that's definitely my favorite accomplishment.
Oh, that's awesome. What are you most grateful for?
My health.
Yeah.
Definitely my health. Yeah.
How about a guilty pleasure?
Oh, that's going to be red wine, Italian red wine.
Oh my gosh. So I love Italian red wine.
Oh, that's my favorite. That's all I drink if I'm going to drink it. Yeah.
Which one? Which one do you love?
Okay. So my favorite is Montepulciano. I don't even have a brand. I just love that type of red wine. Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Okay. Now I got to spell it, and I'm going to, you know what? Can I get that? I'm going to make sure, I'm going to grab the bottle because I have one and I will get that to you in a minute to make sure I spell it right.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll put it in the show notes because I
will send it to you and make sure I spell it correctly.
Where do you buy it?
I go to Total Wine here, and I live outside of Albuquerque, and they have Total Wine, and I go right to the Italian section, and I get my bottles, and they last me quite some time because you get a discount if you buy 6 or 12 or whatever, and that's where I get it. And there's 3 types. There's a Nero d'Avola, there's a Montepulciano, and a Valpolicella. Those are the 3 I will kind of rotate through, and those are my favorite.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, yeah, so you're a girl after my own heart.
Yeah, I'm Italian. My grandfather made wine in the basement. I've probably been drinking it with ginger ale since I was 6. It was good for the blood, he said. So here we go. So yeah, definitely Italian red wine.
That's funny. I love that too. So here's a funny for you. So I fell into a really bad habit of coming home every single day from work and having, 2 glasses, maybe 3. And, I was like, I was questioning myself going, oh my gosh, like, am I getting to be an alcoholic? And, I was just like freaking out about it, and so I said, okay, I'm going to do 30 days, no alcohol. And I saw something online to do that. And I thought, and somebody's like, you're crazy. It's the holidays. I said, well, what better time to develop grit than to do a challenge when it's the hardest time of year to do it?
Yeah. So are you in the challenge still, or did you complete it, or where are you at?
I have 1 week left. So my 30 days ends on the 23rd. That's my last day. So on the 24th, I get to have a glass of wine.
Cool. How do you feel?
Physically, I feel the same.
Yeah.
I don't feel any different physically, but mentally, knowing that I have done this, I feel really awesome. And I know that it's definitely, when I do have wine again, it will be a different experience, because I don't want to go back to having it every day.
Yep. I was doing the same thing, and now I'm I try not to do it. I usually don't do it during the week, and it kind of just has become my weekend, a glass on Friday, Saturday night, and that seems to be working. But I totally understand, because I said the same thing. I'm having wine every night. I don't know if this is good.
Yeah, and it's like, to me, it was like the difference between a habit and an addiction, right? A habit is something that you do, but you don't need to do it.
Right. Absolutely. And I learned it was just a habit.
Yeah. Thank God, girl, right?
Absolutely. Ooh, that was really.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. I want to finish this up really quick. So tell me the last question. Well, the second to last question is, what is your favorite movie?
My Cousin Vinny.
Oh my God. I love that movie.
I know every line. Love it. Favorite. We have my cousin Vinny parties when I go back home to New York. I mean, we've seen it 10 million times, and I laugh every time I see it. That is my absolute favorite movie.
That's a good one. I'm asking people that right now for Christmas movies, because I want to binge watch Christmas movies. Oh, and then coffee or tea? I'm sorry, I threw one more in.
That's okay. Coffee, but decaf.
Oh.
Yeah. I stopped caffeine a while ago. So love the taste of coffee though. So decaf is, I know it's got that little bit of caffeine, but it doesn't seem to affect me. So,
yeah, I love my caffeine, but I love my caffeine because it's like my pre-workout,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So, but I do the decaf too. I get the bulletproof one. So, and do a French press with that one. It's pretty good.
Awesome.
So how can people find you, Missy? Do you have a website on social media?
I do. I have a website. It's just mlabate.com. And it's all about who I am and my coaching. And I love to coach. So that's how you can find out a little bit about me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm going to be honest, I just got on Instagram. This is still wasn't how I grew up with all the social media. So Facebook I've been on for a while, and I just started Instagram about maybe 2 months ago. So I'm just learning. Yeah. So loving it. But yeah, so Instagram and Facebook are where I'm at, and then my website.
And we'll have direct links to that in the show notes page.
Happy to do it.
Awesome. Well, I just want to tell you, I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your wisdom. And I think it's super cool that you were trained by Dr. Hyman, because he's one of my favorite people. Yeah,
him and Sandy developed a great program, and very honored to be a graduate of that program. So
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen.
Okay.
Have a Merry Christmas, and I will be in touch.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, love. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening today. For complete show notes, please head on over to highenergygirl.com/show. And please head on over to iTunes while you're online and give us a rating and review so that more people can find this information and more women can age stronger. This podcast contains the opinion and thoughts of its host and guests. It is intended to provide helpful and informative material on the subjects covered. All statements made on the podcast have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If the listener requires professional assistance or advice, please contact your personal medical doctor. Both host and guest specifically disclaim any responsibility for any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the contents of these episodes. Like I said, this is my opinion and I could be wrong.